Hello everyone, back tuning in to today's video. We're going to have a look at whether the next 8 to 10 days in today's video. This will take us into June, so into the first month of the summer with this update. I think we're going to the 3rd of June, 10 days away. So we've got a complicated weather pattern with a lot of high pressure to the north and east and low pressure down to the south. You tend to get these slack, slow moving sort of block patterns in May quite a lot. And we've got one of those coming up for next week to 10 days. There are concerns about the bank holiday because low pressure is going to be trying to push up from the south. That could bring some thundery rain into the south, particularly later on in the bank holiday weekend. So that could well be something to keep an eye on. I'll share the detail for the next 8 to 10 days in a second. Before I get on with that, just say about the ads. There's links to articles on all the pages. Have a browse through the widgets and click through the links if there's any articles that you're interested in. Thanks very much for doing that. This video ads and most of the pages which open up content when you watch them, they close back up again. It helps to pay for gaslovins.com. So we'll start off with 500 millibar height anomaly flow charts for the next week to 10 days. We've got the ECMWF on the top and the GFS is on the bottom, which we'll have a look at in a moment. 500 millibars, 8,000 feet is an area in the atmosphere, high pressure, low pressure, being moved around by a jet stream running above. Red extrapolates to high pressure and blue to low pressure. So you see on the ECMWF, we've got this big area of above average height, that's high pressure, sitting generally to the north and to the northeast. But if this was winter, this would really be a chart that means business for cold weather, because we'd be bringing down the air from Russia and that sort of direction, so it'll be really quite cold indeed. Because it's nearly summer, it's not going to be cold. In fact, it's going to be quite warm, I think, as we get through towards the end of the week and the weekend. So this area of high pressure, or these areas of high pressure, because there's a few of them actually sort of merging into one big blocking feature sitting to the north. And then to the south, we've got this trough of low pressure in the Atlantic, which is implying that we're trying to bring up unsettled conditions from the south. But it's a very complicated pattern, this, and exactly how much influence we have from these areas of low pressure to the south, very difficult to say at this stage. The GFS is very similar, so this is it for the GFS. Again, we've got this area of red and orange sitting to the north and the northeast of the country. The trough is in the Atlantic and generally weak pressure to the south, with the flow trying to bring these areas of low pressure up from the south. The high pressure also trying to keep winds in from the east and probably mainly dry. As I say, it is a complicated pattern. It's a topsy-turvy pattern, what you normally expect. Normally you tend to get high pressure to the south and low pressure to the north. This is a complete flip around on that idea, and it means that for the north we probably get the driest conditions actually across Scotland, with the wettest conditions likely to be down in the south. It's going to be pretty warm, I think, over the coming week or so. These are the GFS temperature and precipitation ensembles. The red line here being the 30-year temperature average. We're a little bit cooler than average at the moment in terms of the upper air temperatures, but it's still fairly warm, actually, particularly in the sunshine. The trend through the week is to lift those temperatures up, so by the time you get through to the weekend and into next week, it looks like temperatures are going above average. Not a hot spell, but certainly a bit warmer than average, I think, as we get through to the weekend. So no problems with temperatures at the weekend. But there will be precipitation coming through. So the precipitation spikes on the bottom of the chart show we're not going to have too much over the next few days. A few showers coming through, but nothing too wet. But as we get through into the weekend, and that's the period just here, and then into the start of June, we've got quite a few precipitation spikes there, particularly evident on this ensemble for London, down in the south. It's less so for the north, but I think for the south we are looking certainly at some showers, heavy showers breaking out over bank holiday weekend. It is possible that we could bring quite a spell of thundery rain in at some point over the weekend, and if that happens during the day, it's likely to be quite a cool, wet feel down in the south and the southeast of the country, so we'll need to keep an eye on the detail over the next few days. Temperature anomalies for the coming week is going from the 23rd of May through to 31st. Generally still a little bit cooler than average. These are trending warmer. So if we look at these again, well, we will look at these again probably on Thursday. I would suspect by then they'll have gone warmer than average. But the actual anomaly for the week is still a little bit depressed. Big precipitation anomaly from the 23rd through to 31st of May. Looks very topsy-turvy. Scotland and Northern Ireland in those red colours, showing it can be a significantly drier than average there. England and Wales nearer normal, and in the south actually a little bit wetter than average for the coming week. So very much a flip around on what we normally get in this country, which is the wettest conditions in the north and the driest conditions in the south. Just have a look at the generic charts then. Here we go for Friday. High pressure, you see it's there to the north and northeast of the country. Pressure is weak down to the south, so it's a good reflection of what we was looking at on the height anomaly chart. Really, high pressure is to the north and northeast of Scotland. Low pressure down to the south. This low pressure is trying to bring these unsettled conditions up from the south. The high pressure is trying to maintain mostly dry conditions from the east and the northeast. We go through into the weekend. Got a little area of low pressure close to the southeast there. That could bring some thundery showers perhaps. And then pressure generally turns weaker as we move through the weekend down to the south, with risk of showers, maybe even a longer spell of rain developing on Sunday the 29th. Notice high pressure is close to the north of Scotland, so driest conditions likely for Scotland. This is bank holiday Monday, and low pressure is developing down to the southeast, and by the time you get through to midnight on Tuesday, so this has gone through the bank holiday into Tuesday, that low pressure is sitting across the south of the country. So not great, is it? That's going to be bringing thundery rain up from the south. It's still quite a way off, so don't necessarily be all that concerned about it. But it's worth keeping an eye on the weather. If you've got any plans for Bank Holiday Monday, there could be some pretty wet conditions moving up from the south, particularly for the south. It is a lot better across Scotland and Northern Ireland. Into next week then, and this takes us through to Wednesday, middle of next week. Low pressure is almost over top of the country by that point. And we get through into day 10, which is Thursday the 2nd of May, and we've still got weak pressure really, so showers, longer spells of rain likely at some point. Notice it's all becoming very, very blocked again around Greenland. High pressure setting up there or migrating there. So if these low pressure systems here start to undercut this blocking feature, then we could start to turn the winds into the north again. Which obviously isn't going to be very good for the early part of June. Even in June, it's not too late to get frost, especially for the north. So that could be something to watch out for during the early part of June. Finally, have a look at the ECWF. It's very similar. High pressure is blocking to the north and northeast of the country on Friday. Low pressure is down to the south. We go into the bank holiday weekend, and these areas of low pressure gradually getting more of an influence from the south of the country. So by the time you get through to bank holiday Monday, the low pressure is sitting just to the southeast of the country. That could be bringing longer spells of thundery rain into the southeast. It's probably a weather front in that sort of position. Scotland and Northern Ireland tending to get the best of weather on Bank Holiday Monday from that scenario. And then the low pressure travels up North Sea into Tuesday next week, bringing probably persistent rain to the east of the country. It's hanging around the country into Wednesday, the first day of June, which is the first day of meteorological summer, of course. Actually, it is a bit questionable because it's not as well defined as that. When we come to deal with the statistics, anyway, the summer period goes from the 1st of June to the 31st of August. So this is statistically the first day of summer, and we have low pressure sitting right over top of the country. Day 10 looks like this, and it's still looking pretty mixed, really. Low pressure is still there. It's centred over Scotland now, but it's still got an influence, probably bringing showers or longer spells of rain. And again, quite a lot of high pressure still sitting there up to the north of the country. So it's a little bit of a complicated one, this. I think you're going to have a fair amount of dry weather. There will be showers, but a fair amount of dry weather over the next day or two. But as we get through to bank holiday weekend, got to watch out for these areas of low pressure trying to get up from the south. If they do come in over bank holiday weekend, at some point there could be quite a spell of persistent and heavy rain down in the south. Scotland tending to get the best of the weather. Temperatures look quite good on the face of it, but of course if you're stuck under a band of persistent thundery rain, it's not going to feel all that warm. So that's how it's looking today. We'll have a look at CFS V2, I think, tomorrow for the coming month. But that's all for now, and thanks for watching.